So I came to London last night, but it's now my first morning here, so let's go out and explore a bit. I started off as usual and just walked around randomly. Then I remembered that the United Kingdom left the EU, so my usual phone plan didn't work here. And I don't look this stuff up before I travel, thus I had no internet connection and I got lost pretty much immediately. But I walked around copping free Wi-Fi from different stores and eventually got back on track. I found this pretty cool market area, which I explored for a bit. One interesting thing I noticed here is that people really do apologize for everything. If someone walks by and their coat scratches like one single thread of your jacket, they're instantly like, "Oh, sorry mate," and in my head I'm like, "You barely touched me, what are you on about?" But I mean, it is pretty endearing. I found this huge castle with lots of history that I did not bother reading. Then I went to the Tower Bridge. It was a nice area with some dope views, and there was quite a lot of tourists around. You know, one of my favorite pastimes is to photobomb tourist photos. The thought of someone going back to the small-ass village in like southeast Slovakia and then looking at all the memorable photos just to find me with like an over-exaggerated duck face in the background never stops amusing me. It's kind of funny though, it does seem quite a bit similar to Scandinavia, which I did expect. But I went to this cafe and had a coffee. I was on the upper floor, there was literally me and one other dude, both in our own corner of the cafe. And I shit you not, like 7 or 8 times someone popped their head up and was like, "Yeah, nah, this is too many people," and walked down again. And it just made me feel at home. And as the saying goes, when in Rome, do as the Romans do. So of course, I had to visit some British pubs. Fucking romantic. Next day I went out and explored a bit more around the hotel. I ended up just walking around some smaller streets, and as you will be able to tell in this video, I am a pretty big fan of street art. I found this one colorful wall, but just before I got my camera out, someone just had to park their fucking rental bike in front of it. I went to another pub where I had a beer while listening to 2 other Swedes chat shit about their wives, thinking no one would understand them. I don't really like horses. Then I met Pete the Pigeon and we chilled for a bit. So I just became best friends with the pigeon. In the evening I found this boat with golden details, and my medieval Viking urges told me to steal it and row back to Sweden. But I eventually overcame my impulses. You know where this boat is going? Nowhere, man. I also ate this pizza with, no joke, 8 different cheeses on it. The sponsor of today's video is my Instagram, because you lazy fucks don't follow it, so go and follow it. The next day I found a small Hungarian kitchen, where I ended up going in and getting some Legos for lunch. And this is the Shard, one of the more iconic buildings in London. I look at this and I go, mate, it does not look finished. I also found this wild furry, but he was a bit shy. The next day we went to Camden Town. We managed to find this Brazilian restaurant, so we went in for some tapas, and I also got one of my favorite beers, Superbock. Camden had a cool vibe, but at one point I saw this punky fella who looked right at me and went, "Hey ho, let's go." And I thought he wanted to fight, but then I realized I had a Ramones shirt and he just made a reference to one of their songs. Hey, oh, let's go. You're right, mate. Then I found this place who sold, yes, believe it or not, pastel de nata, my favorite Portuguese dessert. So obviously I had to go in and get some. Kept walking around Camden for a bit before we went to Leicester Square, where I made my next friend. Then we went and checked out Chinatown, and I tried bubble tea for the first time. Either I chose a bad flavor, or you guys have bad taste, cause it was pretty shit, not gonna lie. Of course I had to try something British, so we went to a pub called Weatherspoon, where I had basically a full English breakfast, but they called it an all-day brunch. The next day we went to Brick Lane, another cool area with lots of street art. This street had a lot of Bengali places, so I tried some roll and gulab jamun. Then we went to Shoreditch. Check the mic and make sure it sound right, boys. Found a nice pub called The Edge, with this cozy area that was like half outdoors. For dinner I tried some Nando's, a chain from South Africa with the Portuguese Mozambican theme. And the day after I found a market with a small Scandinavian place. But I can get meatballs any day at home, so instead I went and got some pizza. Which I can also get any day at home, but pizza is life, so shut up. Then I finished off by downing a full pitcher of a cocktail before heading back home to Sweden the following day.